Let me first say shouts out to the Milwaukee Bucks for winning the in-season tournament. Now, there's a lot of angles that I can take with this. I can pretty much regurgitate what I said about All-Star Weekend with this topic, but I'm not going to do that, or I'm not going to do that for the entire topic. I will say this. I think Nick Wright said this from FS1. First Things First, I believe the show is called. And I agree with him. But I wanted to give my take with it. In a lot of ways, just like what I just said with the All-Star Weekend, things don't, when a business is so dependent on the word, the face, the popularity, the commitment of somebody else, of an employee, of a star, it's really a delicate thing that they have to. It's when your business model is based on somebody else, you better hope that they care about it. Because if they not, it's going to go down the hill fast. I understand why the in-season tournament was made. We talked about this when it happened. I get it. The NBA, the ratings are always low in the beginning of the season because it is such a long season, and you're going up against damn near every other sport. So you want to do whatever, especially NFL, you're going up against the end of the season plus playoffs. And now that the NFL is snatching Christmas from you. And side note, for people that don't think that thinks the NFL is not trying to snatch Christmas from the NBA, they got Mariah Carey and Beyonce. Two arguably one of, if not the biggest artists in the world right now, and the GOAT of Christmas is on the NFL side. Come on now. The NFL is trying to get the NBA the hell up out of Christmas. But back to what I was saying. I understand why the in-season tournament happens or why they implemented it. And I'm actually giving the NBA its credit that though these last 2 years, obviously the 2 years that the in-season tournament has been going on, this has been the greatest outcome that the NBA could have had for this in-season tournament. Last year, having LeBron James and the Lakers win it, and this year having Giannis, Dame, and the Milwaukee Bucks win. As much as people don't want to admit, this is still a league where the stars and the, for lack of a better term, older stars still run the league. And I don't mean that by wins and losses. I mean that by popularity. There's a reason why Steph Curry, who is 37, is still a top 5 popular. LeBron James is still, and he's about to be 41, I think. It's Kevin Durant. Like, the NBA is going to, there's stars galore in the league right now. A lot of them young. But it's going to be very hard for the league to duplicate the stardom that is Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant. So when you're implementing something new, and you already see what's going on with the All-Star game, you hope that players are going to care. And the best thing that the NBA could have done is have that $500,000 reward, because there's players on the Milwaukee Bucks that only make $500K a year. Now, I understand that we're talking from a place with people that don't make that amount of money, not even near that. So it's hard for you to it's hard for you to understand what that means. And I get it. Shit, I don't make anywhere close to $500K. But I also understand that the last person on the bench that probably makes $500K compared to someone like Giannis that makes $250 million, you're going to play for that. That's a huge discrepancy. So when I say that the best thing that could have happened to the NBA is LeBron winning it the first year and Giannis winning it this year, is it shows that the stars care. The stars are going to play hard as hell. You saw it last year. It was a old star, and no offense, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but it was an older star in LeBron James and the Lakers going against a younger star on the rise in Tyrese Halliburton in the Indiana Pacers. This year, it was a older star, a star that's been here for a minute, Dame and Giannis, going up against a younger star on the rise in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The All-Star game, All-Star weekend, this in-season tournament does not work if the players that you hope is going to promote it doesn't take it seriously. And when I say and like I said, when you see Giannis taking it serious, when you see LeBron taking it serious, when you see, hell, Steph didn't make it, but Steph and them the stars taking it seriously and playing hard as hell, that is the best outcome that you can have. Now, yes, you're still going to have to fight for viewership because you're still going up against the NFL. You're still going up against college football. But for people that watched, that was probably the first game this season outside of opening week or opening night. That was probably the first game this year that felt like it mattered. That was probably the first game, which kind of goes back to my thing as far as excuse me. It's tough when you have an 82 game season and you're trying to generate importance in the beginning of the year. But that in-season tournament felt, or the last game, it felt important. It felt like both these teams cared as much as they could care. When you have Giannis celebrating and as happy as he is, when you have Dame, who hasn't really won anything as far as, championship-wise, he still doesn't have an NBA championship, and I'm not saying that an in-season tournament and an NBA championship have the same weight, but when you see Dame trying to win something, it was just a different feeling, and that is what the NBA needs. When you're basing your popularity on the backs of other people, you better hope those other people care. And that's what it felt like. And that's what it has been for the last 2 years in the in-season tournament. I'm still kind of confused, and even the player said it's still kind of confusing layout. Why don't you just, you'll have an in-season tournament game, and then the next day it'll be just a regular game. I don't know why you just don't block off the in-season tournament and have all the games. I don't know. But I will, as much as people like to kick the back end of the NBA these days, I will give the NBA its credit. Congratulations for putting on a good in-season tournament. Now, I hear people talking about the courts. I don't like the courts, but I understand. I understand. At the end of the day, you're going to do what you can do to attract one pair of eyes. I've said this before. When you do this podcasting thing, and now my podcast, any podcast, is obviously not on the same level as an NFL or an NBA. Or business at that. But what I will say is this. One of the hardest you'll learn, if you haven't already learned, if you're on this podcast jersey, if you're trying to sell anything, the hardest thing to do is to get somebody to watch one time, to get somebody to listen one time, to get somebody to buy a product once. That is the hardest thing to do, to convince someone that whatever you're selling, whatever you're talking about, whatever you're doing is important to them enough to tune in, to support. So I understand the NBA, because at the end of the day, all these things are businesses that are trying to sell you their product. So I get it, I may not like the courts, but somebody likes the courts. I may not like the whole integration with 2K, doing the whole perfect shot meter thing. I think that's corny, but I understand that I am one person. I'm sure somebody, a kid, a younger viewer loves it. But the NBA probably knows it. And I'll say it again before we move on. It's extremely tough when your bottom line, when your productivity is solely based on somebody else's level of care. When your popularity is in your essential livelihood is on the backs of somebody else, you better hope that they take it seriously. And the best, which they've struggled with for the All-Star game and All-Star weekend, but the best thing that could have happened to the NBA right now is their stars like Giannis, Dame, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Shai Gilgeous, Tyrese Halliburton, their stars caring about the in-season tournament. And the fact that there are stars, that's something that's also the fact there are stars in the in-season tournament. Because I'm sure, and no offense to any of these teams, but it's true, I'm sure the viewership would look much different if the finals was the Hawks and the Pelicans. If the championship was the Wizards and the Wizards and the Jazz. It would look mighty different. So the NBA kind of caught lightning in a bottle. They had they're about 4 of their top, let's say 15 most popular players won the last 2 years. Dame, Giannis, LeBron, AD. 4 of their top, let's say 15 popular players won. And they went up against rising stars like Shai Gilgeous, like Tyrese Halliburton. That's the best thing that could happen to them. So congratulations to the NBA and congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks for winning the second in-season tournament championship. Shout out to y'all. Oh, man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.